Intellectual property. Make sure that you do anything and everything you can to protect your brand before anybody even knows the name of it.
Hmm. No, I think that
Trademark, patents on any inventions. This even includes software. Make sure that you are protected because as soon as you get popular, everybody will try to make money off of you.
Hey everyone, this is Devin Miller here with another episode of The Inventive Journey. I'm your host, Devin Miller, the serial entrepreneur that's grown several startups into 7- and 8-figure businesses, as well as the founder and CEO of Miller IP Law, where he helps startups and small businesses with their patents and trademarks. If you ever need help with yours, just go to strategymeeting.com, grab some time with us to chat, and we're always here to help. Now, today we've got another great guest on the podcast, Christopher Alesich, and that's as close as I'm going to getting to saying it correctly. But all right, well, I'll probably mess it up again, but I give it my best shot every time. So, but no, it was a quick introduction to Chris, and so he started working straight out of college and did some modeling, as a matter of fact, at a modeling agency for in the around 2002-ish, and then also got into technical support. And then started a web development business around 2007, and then got into affiliate marketing. And then actually had a few friends that were getting into that were polygamous friends and wanted to have a dating site in order to date the like-minded people. So started a dating site for them in 2008, and then around 2010 happens that the TV show came out and provided some additional traction on that as well, and then starting to expand into a few different sites and for a few different niches and focuses. And started charging for those sites. And then around 2012, was supposed to do a TV show with TLC, but that fell through. And then around 2015, did another show that came out and helped or there was another show with TLC that helped to introduce. And then acquired. What's that?
Seeking Sister Wife, first season.
Yeah. Perfect. And then around 2016, 2017, acquired the Sister Wives URL, and then got into some conflicts with the Sister Wives TV show, and had to deal with that, and then picked up been picking and choosing some legal battles with some knockoffs and the competitors, and also has made, I think it's between 20 and 30,000 matches. So quite the background and the journey. And with that much as an introduction, and hopefully mostly correct, welcome on the podcast, Chris.
Mostly, we started 2008 as sisterwives.net, and then the TV show came out in 2010, and we switched to sisterwives.us. We ran both .net and .us. And then in 2016, we dropped a small fortune and bought the
.com.
Now
you're jumping right into the middle of the journey, but let's rewind and unpack it. So let's go to the beginning, which is, so you're coming out of college and you went to work for a modeling agency. Is that right?
Correct.
So walk us through a little bit of, first of all, I guess let's rewind to college. So what did you study in college, or what did you what did you do during college?
I studied business and marketing, just took some classes. I never fully finished college.
So you didn't fully finish college, took some classes coming out of taking those classes. Now, how did you kind of get engaged with the marketing business and going to marketing agency, and how did that kind of start?
I got into marketing probably around 2007, I want to say, maybe 2006, 2007. I was doing web development, and I started doing marketing for the web development business, and just kind of started doing research and seeing that what I was doing was working. And then some other friends mentioned affiliate marketing, so I dabbled in that and started making a really good amount of money doing affiliate marketing for many years, actually. And
just rewinding just a little bit. So when you're working in the modeling agency, I can't remember when we talked before, did you do technical support for them, or did you do actual modeling for them, or a combination of both, or what did you do for the modeling agency?
Started out in 2002-ish, 2001, 2002. I started doing modeling for them, and then I just became friends with all of them over there. And I was living in I was living in Louisiana, working at a fish meal factory. I was about 18, almost 19 years old, and I was talking on the phone with one of the guys, and he was like, "Well, we're hiring," and I'm like, "Well, I would love to leave Louisiana," and he was like, "Well, we can get you transferred over here. We would love to hire you on," and I got in my car, didn't really have much, and drove all the way to Central Florida, the Cocoa Beach, and started working with them as technical support.
Now, so you start working for them as technical. Did you have a background in technical support, or naturally just had an inclination, or self-studied, or kind of how did you get into doing technical support for
Just
them?
really self-studied. I didn't have much of a background at that point.
So you get into that and you do technical support. Now, how long did you kind of play the dual modeling IT type of a person, or how long did you
Did the
stay in that role?
modeling. I did the modeling first, but when I officially got hired on with them, I just did technical support and customer support with them.
All right. So now you did that, did the technical support, and then you got into web. I think you said website development, marketing, or then or that kind of transition to affiliate marketing.
Eventually it did. Um, kind of I did the technical support for uh, about a year, and then kind of screwed around and got fired from that job. So unfortunately, I mean, it's just the hard truth. And me and my girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife, moved back to Louisiana, and she basically went and did a server job and said, "You need to figure it out. What can we do to work from home?" So for about a year or two, I just kind of dabbled and played around with college courses. I've done a lot of research, and a lot of it was self-taught as well. Taught myself some HTML, taught myself some marketing, and then took some classes on it as well. And we bounced around a little bit. We moved from Louisiana, then we moved to Colorado. We lived in Colorado for a while, and then I'd say probably around 2005, six, something around there, I ended up getting into web development, and that did pretty good for a while. And it was just a lot dealing with all the customers. We got very big very quick. I obviously was just very good at marketing. I didn't realize how good I was at marketing at the time, and not to brag, and just grew this business literally overnight. And we had just tons and tons and tons of clients, and it just became a lot for me and my wife and the freelancers that we had working with us. And we were had a friend that was doing affiliate marketing and was like, "Well, why don't you try this out?" And I was like, "Well, I'll try it." And I played around with it for like, a couple hours a night. And then next thing you know, I was making $30,000 a month doing affiliate marketing. So, you know, and then 2008 happened, the recession. It was very difficult to make money from clients at that point. It was a lot easier to deal with businesses directly, and that's what we did with marketing.
Now, so you were in marketing at the time, and you got did some with the affiliate marketing, and then also were sounds like pretty busy in doing the web development and all of that at that time. And then walk us through how you went from doing that to running a polygamous dating website, or how did you make that transition? Because
Yeah,
I get it's a web, or in a very broad sense, it's web development, or you built a website for it. In the other sense, that's not probably the typical path that someone might take when they're doing web development. So how did you get into that business?
well, the Sister Wives was an accident. It was just a complete accident. It was a couple friends that were polyamorous, some that were polygamous. I just had a bunch of friends back then, and then they're like, "Well, there's no sites for this. You'd make a fortune if you can do this." And I'm like, "Well, I'll try. I'll put a script together." I think I put a Skadate script together at the time. It was just bare bones, basic dating script, no app, no nothing. Did some marketing on that, some SEO, and then I ended up just hiring out some SEO, paid a couple $100 here and there. And it just ended up growing and growing, and probably around 2010ish, 2011, we started charging. It was just a one time. We didn't do recurring billing or anything like that. And I was like, wow, I can actually make some money off of this. And and it just continued to grow, and we just it became eventually it became my full-time job
Now,
after that.
so it started out kind of as almost a coincidence, had a friends. Now, just out of curiosity, because I'm sure the audience is inquisitive, did you ever try doing the polyamorous or the polygamous relationships? Was that kind of how you get joined, or you just happen to have friends that were said, hey, this would be a cool idea, and why not? And you said, hey, I can help out, why not?
I didn't try it until after I created the site. I created the site, and I just kind of was like, well, hell, I'm getting all these girls that are messaging us, and we dated a few, and it always I think we're just undateable, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of people that honestly cannot live in this type of relationship. Um, there's a lot of women that think they want it. They really just can't deal with it. There's a lot of couples that think they want it, or groups. Or I'd say couples if they're groups and they succeeded. But a lot of couples that hop in it and they're trying to fix something, or they think they want this type of relationship, and it's just very, very difficult. It's a very difficult dynamic. You really have to have a good mindset. You have to have a lot of communication in this type of relationship. And with us, it was kind of a learning curve. And one of the girlfriends we had was just being super mean to Robin behind my back, and I didn't know about it. And it was very interesting. Another one was just lazy as all can be. So we just got rid of her. And then the other one was just super, super horrible, abusive, and just a horrible situation. So we decided that we are not going to be looking for any polyamorous relationships.
Nice. So you tried it out for a period of time. Sounds like it wasn't maybe the right setup for you now. But you continued on with the website, and then I think as we talked, you started to go into different niches or otherwise expand the concept or idea and kind of start to explore kind of was it other dating sites, or kind of walk us through a little bit as to, I guess, let me back up because I asked the question, now I'm backing up, but at what point, so you were doing this, it started as kind of a interesting side hustle, why not, I'll build it for friends, and then kind of took on a life of its own. What were you still kind of doing the marketing web or website development agency at the time, and kind of what was that transition to full time?
I'd say probably in around 2010, when the Sister Wives show came out, I started to move away from marketing and started focusing more on Sister Wives. And probably around 2012, I was almost working Sister Wives exclusively. At that point, I was not doing web development anymore, except if it was on my own stuff. And then we just basically, I did affiliate marketing and ran the dating site. That was it for a good while. And I'd say probably around 2018, I stopped doing affiliate marketing.
Now, how did you make that? Because it sounds like at least for a period of time, you were making a pretty good income on affiliate marketing, and I get that maybe there's an ebb and flow on that. But how did you make the decision, or did you say, "Hey, I'm going to go full time on the dating site"? So that's kind of what the focus is going to be.
I see more potential in a dating. Excuse me. I see more potential in a dating business. I see that it's a very very large market share. Affiliate marketing. Google kind of came in. Google and then Facebook came in, and affiliate marketing it's still alive, and it still does well for some people. But for me, it was just getting very difficult. It became easier just to run the dating site.
Interesting. So you do that full time, and I know you mentioned it, but when did you decide to make that jump, or do that as a full time endeavor?
About 2008.
So I did that 2008. So doing it for a good period of time now. You started out with the Sister Wives. Now walk us through kind of how the business expanded or evolved, or kind of what was that outlook?
How did the business?
Yeah, how did it iterate? Because you kind of mentioned you started to explore different types of sites or different types of dating, or niches and that. So how did you kind of decide what direction to take it, or how did you expand, and kind of what directions did you take it?
As far as going into other niches,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something that I always wanted to do. It's something I wanted to kind of venture on into. I love doing matchmaking. I love helping people find love, and it's just I want to try to do that to the best of my ability. If I can start a half a dozen different brands and do that and help people find love, then that's what I'll do.
That's awesome. So now,
That's really my goal. Is it's all about the love. I kind of it's funny, but actually I've been in two weddings actually in the last year because I was me and Robin are always hooking people up, and it's just something that we just love to do. We love matchmaking, and I want to eventually I want to go into Christian dating. I want to go into um, more mainstream dating and other niches as well, like maybe like a farmers only type dating or just kind of play around. And eventually, one of the things I thought about doing is maybe tying the databases together. So if somebody matched on brand A, if the algorithm was correct, if all the parameters were correct, then they could also talk to somebody on brand B, and so on and so forth.
so now, what kind of walk us through kind of what different sites did you start, or what kind of niches did you start to pursue, or kind of where did you expand, or what areas?
Currently, right now, I'm just working on a Christian niche, and I'm working on a essentially like a farmers only type niche. Name of it's going to be Rodeo Match, and we're still working on other names. We deal with a lot of domain squatters. It's very difficult to get a domain these days, unless it's just a off the wall name. And if it's something that's existing already, you're going to be paying a good bit of money for it. So that's really what has stopped us from going into more mainstream right now.
So now, how did you kind of decide or how do you go about, just out of curiosity, how did you decide which kind of niches you wanted to focus in on? Because I assume, and I'll caveat, I got married 2000. Now I got to make sure I get the date right. 2007, and so at that point, dating sites, I'm sure there were some, but they weren't really a big.
There was a few.
There were probably a few, but honestly, I just dated my wife or we met in college, dated, and I've been married ever since. So I've never really got into it other than just, seeing the evolution of them, from the sideline, so to speak. But how do you go about kind of figuring out which niches? Because I assume there's quite a bit out there and you have to kind of separate yourself. And how do you kind of go about building that out, or kind of figuring out which ones you're going to pursue?
I personally, I just want to cover all bases. I want to, I want to do like Jewish dating. I want to do Christian dating. I want to do some mainstream where I can throw more under one brand. I can create different branches of that. I want to do, like the farmers type only niche, and just kind of play around and see what really does well, what doesn't do well. The goal at the end of the day is just to help people find love. Right now, we're working on just crazy features in our new software that is to try to combat some of the issues that current dating sites have. And one of those is like ghosting. How do you address ghosting? Because how do you fix that issue? Because that's a people problem. So we're trying to figure out how to discourage things like that. How to do verification, because scamming is absolutely ridiculous and rampant. And romance scamming, especially nowadays. So, we're trying to play around with that and see, how can we do a know your customer type situation on sign up without invading someone's privacy completely. So it's an interesting industry. It's a lot.
And it does sound interesting. Sounds like a lot of interesting opportunities and directions you can take it, and then it's a matter of figuring out which where you want to help people find love. So it sounds like it's a fun place to be. So so now as we've kind of caught up a bit to the present day, and you started to touch on it, but if you're to look out now, the next 6 to 12 months is the idea that you're going to expand into those couple, you mentioned Christian and kind of the farmers or the rodeo and those type of things, or is it kind of continue to expand out, or honing down on the sites, or addressing issues, or all the above, or kind of walk us through what the next 6 to 12 months looks like for you?
My main goal right now is to get the software rebuilt. Once the software is rebuilt, we're going to throw that on Sister Wives. Sister Wives is the famous site, the big site. We're going to throw that on Sister Wives, and then we're going to start branching out into. We're going to use that same software, we're going to reskin it and we're going to use it for other brands as well, like the Christian brand and rodeo day farmers type brand, and then other brands as well. We'll start working on that. But right now, the main goal is to get the software rebuilt and to really get that dialed in properly, to get the apps done, the software done, branding done for Sister Wives, and then we'll branch out from there.
Sounds like plenty of fun things to come, and a lot of our excitement are yet ahead. So
it's a lot. I stay with brain fatigue literally all the time.
I understand, and probably wouldn't have it any other way. So, well, now as we do, or we've got up to the present day, and even looking at a bit to where you're headed. Great time to transition to the two questions I always like to ask at the end of each episode. So the first question I'd like to ask is, along your journey, what was the worst business decision you ever made, and what'd you learn from it?
I think the worst business decision I ever made was I started living off of Sister Wives while it was still in startup status. And instead of reinvesting my money back into the business and sticking with affiliate marketing a little longer, it was actually 2008 that 2018, sorry, when I started going into Sister Wives full time. Instead of taking all the finances that Sister Wives was making, I was living off of it, living off a majority of it. And if I could do it over again, I would have stuck with affiliate marketing longer, and I would have put 100% of the profit that of all revenue that Sister Wives made back into Sister Wives, and I think I'd be in a different position today. And another one was probably be not filing a trademark until 2020, even though we were operating since 2008.
I'd agree, and that one I'm sure presented a few headaches, and that could be a whole conversation in and of itself. But no, some great easy mistakes to make, but great ones to learn from.
Yeah.
Second question now that I like to ask you. So now if you're talking to somebody that's just getting into a startup or a small business, what would be the one piece of advice you give them?
Intellectual property. Make sure that you do anything and everything you can to protect your brand before anybody even knows the name of it.
No, I think that
trademark, patents on any inventions. This even includes software. Make sure that you are protected, because as soon as you get popular, everybody will try to make money off of you. Everybody.
And by the time you get popular and people are making money off of you, more often than not, then you're already behind the eight ball, and now you're trying to go back and fix things as opposed to having it in place and so you're not having to deal with it. Now, I caveat it. That's a biased answer because that's what I do day in and day out. But I think, it's interesting when you touch on those that people oftentimes, kind of to your point, a lot of times you don't do it till later on. And then once you make that mistake or you learn that, hey, this is important, you certainly take a different focus.
Yeah, sometimes it's too late. With me, when our trademark was issued, I think I shut down 400 stores that were selling T-shirts in a day. I sat at my computer from 5 o'clock in the morning to about 1 o'clock in the morning the next day, doing nothing more than cease and desist on people that were selling T-shirts with my brand on it. And just, they were making more money off of the brand than I was at the point. So it was a lot of a headache. It was a big headache to try to undo the damage that was already done, I should say.
No, makes sense, and I think it's a great piece of advice and a great takeaway. So, well, now as we do wrap towards the end of the episode, if people want to reach out to you, they want to be a customer, they want to be a client, they want to be an employee, they want to be an investor, they want to be your next best friend, any or all of the above, what's the best way to reach out to you, contact you, find out more?
Contact at sisterwives.com.
All right, simple and easy as that. We'll definitely encourage people to reach out, make a new connection, support a great business. If nothing else, make a new best friend. So, well, with that, thank you again, Chris, for coming on the podcast. It's been fun. It's been a pleasure. Now, for all of you other listeners that are out there, if you have your own journey to share and you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, we'd love to have you. Just go to inventiveguest.com, apply to be on the show. A couple more things as listeners. Make sure to click share, subscribe, leave us a review. Helps us to reach even more startups and small businesses to help them along their journey to success. And on that note, if along your journey you ever need help with patents or trademarks or anything else with your startup or your small business, just go to strategymeeting.com, grab some time with us to chat, and we're always here to help. Well, thank you again, Chris, for coming on the podcast, and wish the next leg of your journey even better than the last.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Talk to you later.